Good morning, and welcome to Hometown Values with Shoreline Hometown Credit Union, a weekly 5-minute feature here on the Lakeshore's Good Neighbor, WOMT.
Hometown Values, Hometown Rewards.
Welcome back, listeners, to Hometown Values here on WOMT, Shoreline Hometown Credit Union. Kyle, good morning.
Good morning, Terry.
We got Brad because it's time for Fraud Alert of the Month.
Morning, guys.
Good morning, my friend. Always enjoy having you on because always learn a lot. Good conversations as, again, Fraud Alert. Fraud Alerts. I could just keep doing that all day long, Fraud Alert.
Fraud never sleeps, man.
Hey, what? I mean, there's no more fraud, though. I thought we're all done.
Man, you remember the statistics we went over a month or so ago?
Yeah.
I mean, it is widespread. They come from a bunch of different angles, and there's always something we can talk to. There always seems to be a bit of a flavor of the month. And what we're going to talk about today is one of the least secure methods of payment that I would consider in modern banking is the check, the paper check.
I love my paper check.
You still write check guy?
I will say every year, maybe my wife and I maybe still do. I'll round up and say a dozen.
Right. Where most people used to write 12 checks a week.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
How do you feel about dropping in the mail a piece of paper that's got your name, address, possibly phone number, and your bank account number right on it?
Great. I think it's great. I even put my social on there too at times. Yeah.
Just the
Why
trifecta,
not?
the holy trinity.
Yeah.
Date of birth and social and everything.
Little card in there with a
I mean,
digital picture of
yeah,
you.
yeah,
And,
of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it is interesting because you're right. Think about that. You're literally putting something in the mail that anybody could technically go take, and now they have your name, your address, sometimes your phone number, your banking, they have everything,
They used to say don't mail cash, right? I mean, they still say that.
right?
But really, this is worse.
Yeah,
in a lot of
when
cases.
cash is gone, there's no paper trail on it. At least with
Correct.
checks, we know it's going to clear your account and there's some recourse on it. But really, we want to bring this up because what we've been seeing is the spike in fraud comes a lot of times in association with desperation. Money goes not as far now as what it used to. Inflation's is still running rampant, and it's really tough to pay for those necessities. Something as simple as dropping a check in your mailbox, putting the flag up, paying your utility bill. We had a member who experienced a situation where somebody picked that out of their mailbox, changed, professionally washed with chemicals, who the check was made out to, and made it out to themselves and added a zero.
So by washed, you mean like actually took all the markings off of the check and rewrote it.
Correct. Yeah. Chemical alteration. So it was actually fairly sophisticated because you could tell it was done intentionally and they knew what they were doing. But the biggest defense on anything like this.
So I got to stop right now, though, before you
let
go
it rip.
on.
Which chemicals?
So-
I don't know.
No.
No, let me tell you how to do this.
Hang on, no. Because sometimes criminals are very smart, and sometimes they're very dumb.
Most of the time.
Most of
yeah.
the time, thankfully.
The latter.
They wrote the check out to themselves. So
oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, they're dumb.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Most
saying.
of the time. I mean, and a lot of people sometimes
think
bag on the
about
idea
that.
that we check IDs and stuff for. I mean, do you have any idea how many times people just give us their driver's license?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got you. Yeah, now we know who we are, but that's why we do it as well. Is the person that this check is made out to who's standing in front of us. But the biggest thing there is awareness. This member was on the spot monitoring their account, knowing that check number was for one amount and it cleared for a bigger amount, and that's not right. Because the biggest thing that we can do to stop and to deter anything is having active, aware, and educated members who are monitoring their accounts. As soon as you know something is wrong, the quicker you tell us, the quicker we can turn around, and we can fix the situation.
So let me ask you then, because that is obviously out of your debit account. And you've always said with debit cards, like once it's out, it's out. Same thing with a check?
Oh, nope. We have rules. The debit cards play by one set of rules for electronic payments, and checks play by a different set of rules.
Okay.
But there are recourses, and the common theme there is the quicker you tell us, the quicker and the more options we have to fix the situation.
So, yeah, but I think I hear you with the account needing
That's
to be
what I'm
closed.
saying.
And that is
Oh,
correct.
in that regard, yeah. So to really ensure your account is secure, if we have a situation where a check was used to compromise or if your information was given out, there's no telling if that person made a photocopy or retained the routing and account number information on the bottom of the check for nefarious needs and down the road. The most secure thing at that point, it is painful to switch it, but our Financial consultants are really good at helping making sure that painless process is as easy as it can be, getting your direct deposit switch over, getting your automatic payments updated, getting you a brand new box of checks if that's still the route you want to go. But we will help you make that happen when you're in that situation, because that's what we're here for.
It's fraud alert. I tell you guys, thank you for the education. Thank you for protecting your members. Kyle, how do they reach out to Shoreline?
Best way is shorelinecu.org.
And we'll talk to you guys next Friday here on WOMT.
Thanks for listening to Hometown Values with Shoreline Hometown Credit Union. Tune in again next Friday morning at approximately 11:20 for another episode. Or download the podcast anytime at WOMTradio.com. Shoreline Hometown Credit Union, your local hometown credit union focusing on hometown values. Hometown Rewards. You're listening to a C. Hafer broadcasting station.
Shoreline Hometown Credit Union. Hometown values, hometown rewards.